Born into a family of witches, ParkSeongA was a famed heavenly fairy. Her clairvoyant ability allowed her to see all kinds of ghosts and monsters. People continuously sought her for exorcisms, fortune-telling, and divination. One day, ParkSeongA was helping a man exorcise an evil spirit from his body. Suddenly, a phone ringtone sounded. The next second, ParkSeongA looked at her wrist. She realized it was her watch alarm. She could no longer care about anything else. She took off her witch robes, revealing her school uniform underneath. She abandoned her client and sprinted to school. Besides being a witch, ParkSeongA was also an ordinary high school student. Like other students, she worried about being late and punished. Though she hurried, ParkSeongA still arrived late and decisively climbed the school wall. She almost fell when she lost her grip. Fortunately, PyoJiHo caught her precisely. PyoJiHo was ranked second to last in their class. There was a test today. He worried ParkSeongA, the last-ranked student, might be absent. He waited there eagerly for her. ParkSeongA decided to study hard during night self-study instead of sleeping. But within minutes, she fell asleep on her desk. A bespectacled boy got up to use the bathroom. He ignored the hallway lights flickering. He also didn't see the several slippery handprints on the wall. When the boy sat on the toilet, water dripped onto his neck. He looked up. A water ghost with disheveled hair and a gaping bloody mouth appeared before him. Frightened, he rushed back to the classroom and told everyone there was a water ghost in the bathroom. Everyone thought he was joking. ParkSeongA, who was sleeping, also didn't take the matter seriously. ParkSeongA sat in the shrine as usual, performing divinations for people. The desires in this world are countless. Those without money seek wealth. Those who are single seek a destined match. When desires aren't fulfilled, people become unhappy. ParkSeongA told every client to cherish what they have in the present. No one knew that she, the witch, envied ordinary common people. Only one more client remained to finish the night's work. ParkSeongA looked at the client who appeared before her. Her eyes instantly lit up. The boy who entered was entirely her type. However, the next moment, the boy in her sight started walking upside down. A little girl who once performed a divination prophesied that her destined love would appear upside down. ParkSeongA screamed internally about the unfairness, because anyone who entered walking upside down represented being plagued by misfortune with their fate ending. She didn't want her destined love to be taken by heaven right after appearing. Confirming the boy was her destined person, she abandoned her reserve and grabbed his hand, swearing she would save him. She would remove all misfortune from the boy. She went to her mother for help. Her mother scolded her for taking on someone destined to die. After all, there was a past lesson. It nearly implicated her before. Back then, ParkSeongA tried to save the restaurant owner who walked in upside down. Not only did she fail to exorcise the vengeful ghost and save the owner's life, ParkSeongA herself almost got hit by a car. Her mother reminded her, someone entering upside down meant the law of equivalent exchange had activated. The price for forcibly changing fate was losing her own life. Unwilling to give up, ParkSeongA blurted out. She liked the boy at first sight. The next day, the boy appeared before ParkSeongA as a transfer student. ParkSeongA, who was sleeping, got startled awake and stood up directly. Only then did she realize. As a witch, she wore a mask the whole time. The boy hadn't seen her face. Her standing up drew ridicule from the whole class. Everyone mocked her for being boy crazy. Not wanting this, the boy helped her out, saying they had met before. That's why ParkSeongA was surprised to see him appear. The boy's name was Bae Gyeon Wu. His act of helping ParkSeongA made her like him even more. On her way home, ParkSeongA saw the restaurant owner she failed to save, now a ghost, frantically stomping on a billboard. And Bae Gyeon Wu happened to walk right under the billboard. She rushed toward Bae Gyeon Wu. She was nearly hit by the falling billboard. Bae Gyeon Wu pulled her into his arms. ParkSeongA explained she intended to save someone, but ended up being saved by Bae Gyeon Wu. ParkSeongA didn't understand why. When facing danger, Bae Gyeon Wu showed no trace of panic. Then it occurred to her. Someone plagued by misfortune must have faced countless dangerous situations. To save Bae Gyeon Wu, She sought out the famous flower fairy master for talismans. She spent a high price to obtain several talismans. Due to traveling back and forth to find the flower fairy master last night, she felt physically drained. She intended to collapse onto Bae Gyeon Wu, but was caught by POGHO instead. ParkSeongA woke up in the infirmary after school had ended. She suddenly remembered she forgot to give the talismans to Bae Gyeon Wu. Her original plan was to start a sweet romance using the talismans, then reveal her identity. Since the plan was disrupted, she could only give the talismans to Bae Gyeon Wu, using her witch identity. This time she saw Bae Gyeon Wu entering upside down, completely drenched. She suspected his manner of death might be drowning. She handed the talismans to Bae Gyeon Wu. Before she could explain how to use them, Bae Gyeon Wu suddenly demanded to know the cost. He accused ParkSeongA of being a fraudulent scammer after money. Even though she wasn't trusted, ParkSeongA still didn't give up on saving Bae Gyeon Wu. Only 3 weeks remained until Bae Gyeon Wu's death time. ParkSeongA checked nearby locations where drowning was likely. POGHO knew ParkSeongA's identity. He asked her to give a talisman to the bespectacled boy who saw the water ghost. ParkSeongA analyzed that the bespectacled boy was simply too weak. Most importantly, she wanted to save the talismans for the handsome Bae Gyeon Wu. Right after she spoke, ParkSeongA saw several wet handprints on the wall. They extended all the way to the boy's bathroom. This time, ParkSeongA believed the bespectacled boy's story. Perhaps there really was a ghost in the boy's bathroom. While everyone was in class, ParkSeongA went to inspect the boy's bathroom. As soon as she sat on the toilet, the soaking wet water ghost opened its mouth wide at her. She grabbed the water ghost's head with her talisman-covered hand. She asked the water ghost if it had any unfulfilled wishes. ParkSeongA promised to perform exorcism rites for it. They also pinky promised it wouldn't scare classmates anymore. Just as ParkSeongA was about to leave, several boys walked into the bathroom. ParkSeongA signaled the water ghost to remain silent. At that moment, Bae Gyeon Wu entered. The water ghost heard Bae Gyeon Wu's voice. It swiftly moved out and enveloped his head. Bae Gyeon Wu instantly felt suffocated, gasping as if drowning. To save Bae Gyeon Wu, ParkSeongA stuck the talisman onto a water pipe. She grabbed the hose and sprayed the water ghost on Bae Gyeon Wu's head. ParkSeongA sprayed water following the water ghost's position. This continued until the water ghost disappeared. Due to the water fight in the boys' bathroom, ParkSeongA, Bae Gyeon Wu, and others were punished with 1 week of campus cleaning. ParkSeongA didn't want Bae Gyeon Wu to misunderstand her as a troublemaker. She lied that she sprayed the hose because there were cockroaches in the bathroom. But Bae Gyeon Wu coldly replied that he disliked her more than cockroaches. After all, cockroaches didn't get him punished. He also demanded they keep their distance. As soon as Bae Gyeon Wu left, ParkSeongA heard dog barks. She saw delinquent boys punished smoking at the warehouse door. A fire ghost stood inside the warehouse. The fire ghost snapped its fingers, igniting a cigarette butt thrown on the ground. Another snap launched the butt onto cardboard piles, instantly causing flames to flare up. ParkSeongA rushed over and stomped out the flames. She scolded the fire ghost for daring to start a fire there. The boys, unable to see the ghost, thought she was picking a fight. They confronted her to settle scores. She felt nervous but braced herself and scared the three away. Bae Gyeon Wu, hiding around the corner and hearing everything, murmured to himself, ParkSeongA really was a quirky girl. That evening, ParkSeongA lamented that the talismans were used up dealing with the water ghost. Her mother suddenly entered and handed her multiple new talismans. Her mother couldn't stop her from helping Bae Gyeon Wu. She had threatened the flower fairy master with a large knife to draw the talismans. ParkSeongA gratefully hugged her mother and acted cute. She didn't know the flower fairy master, resentful after being threatened, had tampered with the talismans. ParkSeongA wanted to slip a talisman into Bae Gyeon Wu's phone case. As she racked her brains, POGHO pretended to trip, lunging onto Bae Gyeon Wu's desk and taking his phone. ParkSeongA had just gotten the phone. When Bae Gyeon Wu's grandmother entered the classroom with the homeroom teacher. Wanting Bae Gyeon Wu to settle in faster, The grandmother had specially made pastries for the whole class. She ran out of the classroom, intending to slip the talisman into the case. Ji-ho, who followed her out, helped complete the task. Unfortunately, their actions were seen by the grandmother. The grandmother recognized it was Bae Gyeon Woo's phone. ParkSeongA seized the chance to hand the phone to the grandmother. She was glad her grandson had made friends. But Bae Gyeon Woo denied ParkSeongA, and Ji-ho were his friends. ParkSeongA suddenly announced loudly she wanted to be friends with Bae Gyeon Woo. She also wanted to eat at Bae Gyeon Woo's house. Ji-ho accompanied the grandmother out to buy groceries. While Bae Gyeon Woo wasn't paying attention, she hid talismans in various corners. Except for Bae Gyeon Woo's bedroom, Bae Gyeon Woo forbade her from entering his room. Bae Gyeon Woo handed her a cup of water, telling her to sit still. ParkSeongA touched the warm cup. She marveled that Bae Gyeon Woo was a considerate boy. Hearing this, Bae Gyeon Woo wanted to take the water back. During the struggle, water spilled all over the table. As ParkSeongA turned, the distance between them closed. As the atmosphere grew warmer, the grandmother returned with groceries. Bae Gyeon Woo quickly stood up. The grandmother prepared a large table of food. ParkSeongA ate heartily. Ji-ho reminded Bae Gyeon Woo to be filial to his grandmother, who worked hard to care for him. The grandmother explained defensively that Bae Gyeon Woo's parents were busy working abroad and entrusted him to her care, but they called frequently. ParkSeongA sensed family issues made Bae Gyeon Woo cold-natured. To comfort him, she revealed she was adopted. Her adoptive mother likes to play with swords and knives, but isn't much of a cook. That's why she loved the grandmother's cooking so much. After dinner, ParkSeongA realized they were in Bae Gyeon Woo's bedroom. She tried to hide a talisman inside a box on top of a cabinet. She accidentally knocked the box down. Multiple gold medals for archery championships fell out. Only then did the two learn. Bae Gyeon Woo was once an excellent archer. Classmates also learned the secret. Eating the grandmother's pastries, they looked online and found Bae Gyeon Woo had won multiple archery championships. He was a future national athlete, but was expelled from sports school for setting fire to the dorm. After that, a word spread that Bae Gyeon Woo was an arsonist. Classmates called him a pervert. Bae Gyeon Woo didn't know his secret was exposed. ParkSeongA seized the chance to place a talisman under the mattress, but suddenly got a call from home. Learning guests were waiting for the fairy to appear. She could no longer care about anything else, and rushed home. The grandmother ran after her with her bag. She addressed ParkSeongA as Fairy. It turned out the grandmother had recognized ParkSeongA when she saw her slipping a talisman into Bae Gyeon Woo's phone case. She wanted to thank ParkSeongA for caring about Bae Gyeon Woo. The next day, the grandmother brought ParkSeongA's favorite food to the shrine. ParkSeongA was devouring the meal when Bae Gyeon Woo suddenly burst in. Earlier, the grandmother had taken the food, saying she was visiting a new friend. Bae Gyeon Woo grew suspicious and secretly followed her. Seeing that her so-called friend was the heavenly fairy, he mistakenly thought ParkSeongA was not only scamming for money but also free meals. He cursed at her, calling her shameless. ParkSeongA looked dazed, not upset by Bae Gyeon Woo's insults. Instead, she remembered something else. When Bae Gyeon Woo entered, she noticed his upside-down form was engulfed in flames. This meant Bae Gyeon Woo would die by fire. Since the arsonist rumors spread, Bae Gyeon Woo had been isolated at school. The classroom atmosphere suffocated Bae Gyeon Woo. He excused himself to take out the trash and hid in the warehouse. But as soon as he entered, the warehouse door slammed shut on its own. Soon, the classmates saw flames erupting inside. ParkSeongA pulled out the talisman from Bae Gyeon Woo's phone case to save him. She was shocked to see it read, "KDrama is a big idiot." KDrama was her mother's title. Realizing the talisman was fake, she furiously cursed the flower fairy master. Inside the warehouse, Bae Gyeon Woo was surrounded by flames. The familiar scene reminded him of the dorm fire tragedy. The fire ghost exploited his guilt tempting him to give up. At the critical moment, ParkSeongA smashed open the door. She threw salt at the fire ghost, but the salt's effect was weak. Seconds later, the ghost returned fiercer than before. Just as ParkSeongA was overpowered, Ji-ho shattered a window and sprayed a fire extinguisher. The fire ghost fled in panic. Through the thick smoke, ParkSeongA reached out and pulled Bae Gyeon U to safety. Due to Bae Gyeon Wu's arson record, the homeroom teacher suspected he set the fire intentionally. ParkSeongA was overwhelmed with worry for him. That night, the grandmother visited and revealed the truth. Bae Gyeon U had been plagued by misfortune since childhood. No shaman, domestic or foreign, could help. People always looked at him strangely, calling him a jinx. They forbade their children from associating with him. Some even bet on his life and death. Slowly, Bae Gyeon Wu's spirit was crushed. What destroyed him wasn't misfortune, it was people's words. ParkSeongA tried to comfort the grandmother but couldn't touch her. She realized the grandmother had long been exhausted from caring for Bae Gyeon Wu. She had passed away without seeing her grandson one last time. ParkSeongA understood she was speaking to the grandmother's spirit, who had come because she couldn't let go of Bae Gyeon Wu. Hearing the grandmother beg her to hold Bae Gyeon Wu's hand, to not leave him alone, ParkSeongA tearfully promised that once she decided to care for someone, she would never abandon them. Just as gods don't abandon people, and mothers don't abandon their children. After the grandmother's spirit vanished, ParkSeongA sprinted to the funeral hall. No matter what, she would stay by Bae Gyeon Wu's side. The grieving Bae Gyeon Wu tried to push her away. She stepped forward and vowed never to leave him alone.